Hey City Group leaders, Craig here. Wanted to shoot this video because we're not going to have a chance to have any sort of combined leadership meeting this month, and everybody's busy with the holidays and all that. And I hope that this season's just going to be awesome for every one of you, for your families, for your homes, for your health, for your groups, and January, as you know, if you've been around Heart of the City, January also gets really busy really quick with the sound and everything. And I want to talk about a few things that are extremely important that we're kind of looking to, and I really would love your guys' heart and opinion on. And so that's kind of the main content of this video. A few things real quick, just so you know, so you're in the know if you haven't heard it already. We have our Christmas gatherings coming up on the weekend. Saturday is going to be the candlelight gathering. Sunday is going to be the kids program and a sermon. And then Monday, there's going to be another candlelight gathering. The two candlelights are 1 hour each. Saturday is still at 6:06 like usual. And Monday is going to be at 4:04 for 1 hour. So mark your calendars for that. Secondly, we wanted you guys to be aware of what we're kind of planning right now in January, beginning of the year, for this sort of not for the sound, but revolving around the sound. If you've been around Heart of the City for a while, you've noticed that in January we often do a corporate fast together, and this year we're going to do that again. But and we've done like 21 days before, 14, 7, just different types of fasts. And this year we're doing something that we've never done before, and that is that we're going to fast for the week leading up to the sound, and then we're going to, of course, be here for the sound and all that entails. And then we're also going to take the week after the sound and fast. Seek week prior to the sound is going to include both 7 a.m. morning prayer and noon prayer. And so we're really pressing into God in prayer and fasting leading up to the sound. And then the week after the sound, there's not going to be corporate prayer meetings like that, but we're really going to be encouraging our whole congregation to participate in a fast as well. And the reason for that is because there's a few examples in the scriptures where it wasn't just fasting leading up to something or fasting to petition God that he would do something, but there's also examples of fasting after God has done something. Like take Saul, for example. He got knocked off the donkey on the way to Damascus, and then he fasted until God revealed to him exactly what was going on. A pastor once said that Jesus fasted after he had been baptized. And so we thought, biblical example or not, it's really a cool thing we put so much emphasis on what God is going to do during the sound, and we want to give just as much emphasis to discerning and reflecting on what God spoke, and to determine through prayer and fasting and the multitude of counsel, was what was said, was it on, was it off a little, was it on, but it's not really a now word, it's a later word. And whatever it is that God says, we want to really give some effort towards discerning what it was that was spoken and what God did at the sound, so we can understand it fully. So wanted you guys to be in the know for that and to be preparing for that. So here's kind of the big thought that I wanted to get out there, that because we didn't have a leader meeting, I can't wait until January. And by the way, our next leader meeting is going to be the Saturday leader after the sound leader meeting, because I kind of thought December and January are so busy. I bet most of you are already planning on being at the sound special leader meeting on Saturday morning. And so my thought was, what if we all just take 30 minutes afterwards? That's it, 30 minutes, and we just all stay in the sanctuary and we have a little meeting, and then we can kind of jump into this next season all together. So here's the big thought. We've been doing a lot of research and a lot of just like trying to learn from other churches, trying to learn from what God is doing in this season from in and through other people. And one thing that we've sort of gleaned in regards to the small group ministry in particular is that a number of churches, including some very significant churches that we're in relationship with, do their small groups on a semester basis. And the reason for that, they say, is that they don't experience as much leader burnout. They also experience more people signing up because they know that they're signing up for a certain amount of time, and then they have sort of the relational ability to opt out of that group at a point, maybe choose another group or whatever it might be, versus joining a group that's sort of never ending. The third thing that it does is it promotes this idea that those people that are in current groups might, at the end of this semester or at the end of next semester or at the end of 2 semesters from now, that they just might be ready to launch their own group, or maybe a group is going to multiply out and divide, and so nobody's sent out alone. But it sort of encourages that attitude. And the fourth thing would be that those groups that want to keep going every week, all year long, forever and ever, like the men's group that has had breakfast together every Friday morning at 6:30 for 20 years. There's no thing about you have to stop at the semesters. It's groups that want to keep going can keep going, but as far as like how they promote it corporately to their churches, they promote it in a sense of there's a launch in the fall, kind of like we have, and then it's 12 or 13 weeks, and then there's a Christmas break for everybody. It gives the leaders a break. Everybody kind of knows, hey, it's Christmas break time. And then they do another launch in January or February, and they do 12 or 13 weeks in the winter spring semester, and then there's a spring break. And then they do 6 weeks in the summer. It's sort of a half semester in the summer, 6 weeks on, and then half the summer off. And so it's keeping people engaged in community and relationship, but it's also giving those breaks that maybe the leaders need and maybe people appreciate. And so what I wanted to present to you was the idea that we would take this philosophy on. And so this is the main reason why I needed to get this information to you today. I thank you so much for watching this video. But if the feedback from you guys is that you're interested and you're on board with this, then the plan would be to I don't know what you're doing for your group or planning already. My group, we're going to meet our last time December 20th. We're going to have a Christmas party, and then we're going to have a break. And so my thought is we would do a launch weekend the weekend after the Sound. And so I think it'd be the weekend after or the first week in February, one of the two, basically right around there. And so there'd be a break from Christmas until after the Sound, end of January. And then we would do our winter semester, and we'd really promote it just like we did in the fall. And then there'd be a break in like the month of May, and then we would do a little summer semester for those that are interested. My hope is that it would encourage people to continue with small groups in the summer, because it's just half the summer. And so that's kind of the thought, and that's sort of the reasons. And so if you have any questions about that, please let me know what your questions are. And whether you have any questions or not, I would love to hear back from every single one of you, personally or as a couple, either a text message or a phone call or a Slack or something, where you're just either letting me know, hey, I really think that's a bad idea because, or I love the idea because, or hey, I don't really care. Either way, but that feedback will help, because I'm not just trying to make changes. You guys are the dream team. All of this that we're building right now, this foundation for the future, is because of you guys, and I thank you so much for what you're doing. I truly believe that God has us in a season where we're building a foundation to really be able to engage people in relationship and discipleship for the future, so we don't just become this revolving door church of a million people that nobody really knows each other, but that there's real community and life and relationship happening. And so we need to build right here at the bottom level in order that God can build on top of us. So will you let me know? I'm definitely in a sense proposing this to you, that after all the research and thinking and praying and talking to so many people, I do believe that this is a great structure and a model, both for the health of leaders and for the health of people just getting plugged in. And so please do let me know your feedback, and then we will go ahead and make a decision on that. And if everybody's into it, or at least not opposed to it, we will plan on doing the launch at the end of January or beginning of February. And we would spend that 30 minutes the Saturday of the Sound right after that leader meeting. We'd do a city group leader meeting, and we'd spend that time just getting you any last information you need to solidify what it is that it's going to look like moving forward. So there's probably more that I could say to you, but I can't think of it all right now. I just would say again, thank you for all that you do. Very much appreciate you and love you guys. Hope you have an amazing holiday season, and I look forward to hearing from every one of you. God bless.